Okay, we've got the PTO, oh sorry, we've got the pinion in, and I've done these fellas up. I didn't tension them, I just did them up tight. So we now have the PTO ground drive gear. Now, the PTO ground drive gear drives on this fella here. Now, this bloke, he sits, there's a support bushing in the housing there. He sits on there, and when your PTO is, I'll just slide this back shaft up just to give you a bit of an idea what happens. So when the PTO shaft comes through the middle there, it sits forward, oh look, probably there somewhere, and this little snout here, that goes up in the back of the hydraulic pump. So in neutral, where are we? In neutral, this gear just sits there, about there somewhere, doesn't engage with anything, and well, it doesn't go round at all. The hydraulic pump shaft here goes round and round and round. Then when you want to engage your PTO, your normal PTO, the lever comes in the side here, slides this gear forward. The internal spline of this gear actually hooks onto the back spline of your hydraulic pump, because your hydraulic pump's live and away it goes. But when you want ground PTO, this gear slides all the way back and engages with this gear here, engages with this little fella here, and what happens is the drive from the engine's taken away. You don't have any drive there. This is still hooked to your PTO shaft. So what happens is this gear here becomes your drive gear for your PTO. So as this shaft turns, that turns your PTO. So why would you do that? Well, you know, if you know the size of your tyres, your rolling radius, you can work out if you want to put a specific amount of seeds in the ground, fertiliser at a certain rate, depending on how your wheels go. And if your tractor stops, you know, you have to stop and disengage or something like that, well, your feed stops as well. So normally in neutral, this gear would sit, look, pretty well something like that. So it's not engaged, it's not slid forward onto the hydraulic pump, it's not slid back to engage the pinion shaft or the ground speed drive gear here, and this just sits there doing nothing. So yeah, so engaged, it comes forward and runs on the hydraulic pump. Neutral, it runs on nothing, and back it comes and engages with this ground drive gear. So what we have to do with this ground drive gear, I've got him sitting in there where it should be. Then this little clip, he just feeds in there like that. It's simple as anything. And all we have to do is just have a good look. I'll give a little push with my little punch here. That's engaged properly. That's all we have to do. So that gear can't come off, it just stays there. And as I say, most of the time, when you're either in neutral, this gear is not used, and when the PTO shaft comes forward and engages your live PTO on the back of your hydraulic pump, this gear here is not used either. So hopefully that's a bit of an explanation of it all. This little tit on the end of the PTO shaft here, up the end of the hydraulic pump, there's a little needle bearing, and that supports that. So your PTO gets supported at the back by the bearing near your seal at the back there, and at the front it gets supported here. Then this gear is supported in a big bush in the housing, and then there's a needle bearing back in further there to support the PTO, but I might show that once we get to the PTO section. So for the moment, that's that's all the pinion gear and that done. So what we can do now, we'll switch the camera around so we can see down this way, and we'll sit the hydraulic pump in place and we'll have a bit of a chat about that.